All right, this is James the Giant Economy. Glad to see you all again today. We're going to go over just some articles that I found that are showing what is going to happen in the future in the energy industry. And the energy industry affects us all, so let's just jump in. Warren Buffett's Occidental Petroleum pick suddenly makes even more sense. I've got the article. I'll let you guys read it. But let's just go over a few things. The world is really running out of gas. This doesn't quite seem to be the case right now. Crude oil prices are down from a mid-2020 peak of 120 per barrel to roughly 73 per barrel, still trading. Like I said before, they're going to cite this. It's down 40 for whatever. $73 barrel in oil for oil is not cheap oil, okay? It's on the lower side of high. All right, 80, 90, 100, yeah, that's high. 70s, that's on the lower side of high. So when they say this, it feels like, oh, it's gone down or whatnot. No, no, no. Like, it's still high. Oil right now is not cheap, okay? War in Ukraine, now unrest in the Middle East and the Red Sea, Mediterranean in particular, hasn't proven nearly as disruptive as initially feared. This is true. It feels like a ticking time bomb. We're going to see what's going to happen, right? And as we go through this, I want you to think about one thing. What is going to happen to the future of energy and the pricing of energy, right? Because as energy investors, this is one of the things we want to look at. We're trying to look at the future and see what's happening as best as we can to make good, educated choices today. Just wait, though. A day of reckoning is coming. Like I said, a ticking time bomb. NBC's Tyler Matheson explaining that known crude reserves are being found and developed at a much slower pace than what they've seen in the past. Specifically, she said the world has only newly identified less than half of the amount of crude is consumed over the last 10 years. Given the current trends, this means the demand will exceed supply before the end of 2025. Again, all of my all of the wise people I'm looking at, listening to, these are not the people I'm partnering with. This is people outside of it are saying 2024 is going to be kind of a stable year for oil, right? Crude especially. Sometime in 2025 or the end of 2024 is when we're going to see a very large noticeable uptick, and 2025 will be a very great year for crude. So what happened is 2022 went up, right? We kind of went down a little bit in 2023. 2024 is kind of that 2023 and 2024 are kind of that bottom of the fishbowl. And then end of 2024, 2025, it's going to fly up, right? And that might hit the economy hard. We take our cash that we have from there, we buy distressed assets, and our net worth just goes up multiples. You want to talk about 10x? It's going to be more than that. All right, moving on. She's not alone in her concern. Last year, JP Morgan Chase published research suggesting the same. JP Morgan's global head of energy strategy said, we are turning bullish now as we envisage an emerging supply-demand gap beyond 2025, coupled with strengthening bottom-up sector fundamentals. The investment bank furthers fears. However, the gap between supply and demand will only continue widening through 2030 without new investments and exploration and development. Its long-term price outlook also estimates oil prices above $80 a barrel for a long, long while. This is what I and others have been talking about for a while. There have been a trillions of dollars that have not been invested into infrastructure that's pulling out more efficiently ways of getting oil and gas out of the ground and into our cars or into our houses or whatnot, right? And to where we need it. And this is starting to snowball, and it's going to hit pretty hard. We don't have much of a strategic petroleum reserve anymore. The government can't take that and throw it in the market to lower prices anymore. It's drained dry. Its gas tank is on E, if you get my drift. So there is nothing that's holding it back. And so me and the partners that have been investing in this so far are going to do really, really well these next few years. Just got to be a little patient. Research outfit Woodford McKinsey seems to agree, arguing early last year that known fields alone cannot meet oil and gas demand to 2050, requiring serious upstream, in other words, into drilling and production, what they're doing on our acreage, serious upstream investments in the meantime. And here's another thing. And no, renewable energy alternatives can't make up the difference. I'll say that again. Renewable energy alternatives can't make up the difference. I'll let you go into that. But Occidental Petroleum is praying for the future. Occidental is one of the best, most efficient oil and gas companies out there. They've got their fingers in tons of stuff, right? In 2019, 55 billion purchase of Anadarko Petroleum, however, brought several different wells into the fold. Some of them have been since divested. 2020 hit oil and gas pretty hard. Let's move forward. The company makes some investments. They're just talking about the company. All right, so this just goes into companies and BlackRocks and stuff. The main point with this is that oil, we're going to have an oil and gas shortage, a big one, right? It's going to take time to get into. It's not like toilet paper in the pandemic, right? You don't get a shortage in 4 weeks later and like everybody's looking for it. This takes time to build out. It also takes time, a lot of time, to ramp back up. So the profit spread that we're going to have is going to be very good for, it could be a period of years, right? This is why in some of my tracks I'm making 30 to 40% ROI per year on some of these things. So 2025 looks great. Again, this is encouraging me to invest more and more into energy now. Growth, you couple this, right, with saying, hey, we're about to run out of gas. 2025 is going to be pretty very, very low on supply and high in demand. Growth in U.S. crude production is to slow sharply in 2024, EIA says, right? U.S. Energy Information Administration today cuts its forecast for domestic growth in 2024 by 120,000 barrels a day to 170 barrels per day, sharply lower than this output of 1.2 million, right? So basically, and this matters a bit, but not all the crude that we pull out of the ground in the U.S. is what we use. We actually barter with other countries, and it's just for the simple fact of refining, right? I can get to that later, but our crude demand is reaching the highest level it's reached at our production has reached a higher record, and they're expecting it just to go down from there. So in other words, we've hit the highest production capacity that we've ever seen, and we're not going to go any higher. We've hit a glass ceiling, right? We're going to go down before we go up. Not only that, but the other articles I've talked about, our usage for crude is going up. And especially when people's lifestyles go up, right? When you're making more money, are you going to use less energy? No, you're going to use more because you have more money and you want to expand. Same is true for everybody in every other country. I've got friends who are in other countries that say that with their the people they hire, they'll pay them in dollars or convert it and everything. And they pay them more because they want them to work harder. And now, instead of taking a moped to work, right, they've got a car. Right, that's going to use more oil, more energy, more gas, and so the world uses more. So all this is to say, this is just more proof for you that 2024 and 2025, especially 2025, is going to be really good for energy. If you're interested in investing or just wanting to know more information, let me know. Put you on my email list. We can talk from there. Hope you have a good day and prepare.